Two extremely popular characters. The only question is, what is their catchphrase when they're merged together? We are Venom, Hulk smash. We are Venom, Hulk smash. We are Smash? I still can't believe how big this is.
That's what she said.
As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey everybody, welcome to the Extreme channel. I'm so excited because two of my favorite characters are now merged into one. That's right, we have a Venomized Hulk statue, which technically that's not true, because Venom is actually the alien symbiote and Eddie Brock put together. So clearly Eddie Brock is not included in this, so more accurately this would be called a Symbiote Hulk. But that's not as cool as Venomized Hulk. So as I said, if you're a follower of the channel, you know I have a ton of Venom statues. It's right behind me. It was one of my favorite comics growing up. Another one was a Hulk over on this wall. I have 25 Hulk statues, and I actually have another one coming in really soon that you'll see a review in a few days. And then we're going to do a countdown of the best Hulk statues out there, which this one might be near the top. Now, I've been waiting for this for a while, and I went ahead and pre-ordered this, and after I pre-ordered it, I saw photos of a similar custom Venomized Hulk, this piece right here. I was like, oh shit, I bought the wrong one. That one's way cooler. I unboxed this guy, and I'm excited to tell you that I may have been wrong. Well, we can't compare those two because I don't own that one. That one is true kick-ass. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the differences between that one and this one. Mainly, that seems more like a realistic version, where this is more of a comic-based, even though I don't know if this is technically in the comics. It's just a cool concept. So this is a custom 1/4 scale. Custom means it was a private unlicensed commission. 1/4 scale means a real-life version of him would have been 4 times larger. Today we're going to do an extreme review. We're going to talk about paint, sculpt, concept, and then he's going to go on the back of my wall over there with the other Venomized pieces. I have a Venomized Deadpool. You can actually check out the review right here. There's a Mary Jane, and then I have a Batman and some other characters on order. So before we get started, I want to let you know, with the exclusion of this piece and a few others, my Hulk statues I just referred to, I'm actually selling in the next few months. So make sure you've not only liked this video, but you've subscribed to the channel and you have that bell notification in case you want to look at buying any of those, because I sell everything through the channel. They're not ready to sell yet. Wait for that video. But let's kick off this guy talking about concept. What I love about this is they kind of incorporated not only Venom and Hulk into the character, but even a little bit into the base. So you have a street here, which is very similar to a lot of Hulk statues. You see underneath the street, which is a lot of rock and mud, and even some sewer lines, which you typically see on a Venom base, so I like that. On top of the base, you have some of the symbiote, the tendrils going everywhere. You have a newspaper article in the back we'll look at with paint and sculpt. You have the sewer pipes sticking out. You have a street light as you move up that he's actually smashed, which has a light up feature. And he's in mid-transformation. Not only is he mid-transformation, but he has tons of different display options we're going to talk about during design. So I like that you can clearly see that it's Hulk. You can clearly see that it's Venom. He's destroying everything. He looks badass. I love everything about this. I think the street light is a nice touch. It kind of gives this even more scale to make you think this is a massive character. But fortunately, it's not too big.
Hey, that's what she said.
So concept on this guy, part of it is going to be with the design, because I think the design ties into the concept, but I still give it a 4 out of 5. The reason why it's not a perfect score is when I saw the portraits on the other piece we were talking about, some of those were like, wow, that's kind of a perfect concept. But I really like the street base of this, because to me, Hulk was always destroying the streets in the comics I grew up on. Now, design. First, let's look at the assembly of this piece. 2 large boxes. They actually didn't weigh too much, and they had your standard classic black foam with straps that you typically see with custom statues. Here's one box in the first layer. It had a few different pieces, including some of the tendrils, the tongue, the street light. And the next layer actually had some of these giant arms. Another one had the base. And then, of course, the last layer had the portraits and the body itself. All right, so let's measure him. One thing I really like is while this is a huge character, it doesn't take up as much room as some of the other Hulk pieces. Because as a collector, space is our enemy. So you're a little over 21 inches wide. I'm going to give it 16 inches deep. And the tallest part to the stoplight is 27, right over that. The tallest part of Hulk, because there are some switch out options without the stoplight, is a little over 23 inches. So I said there's switch out options. Let's look at that. First, you can obviously have the stoplight I'm talking about. And it does have a light up feature. However, I haven't installed it. And to me, I would never use it. And I assume it's a light up feature because it came with this right here. Or instead of this up here, you have a broken street light. You can check out right here. Two different portrait options. One is half Hulk, half Venom. And then they have a tongue that, if you don't mind the keyhole on the inside, you can remove. And then you have one where it's almost a full Venom face, but kind of a weird oblong with the green eyes, so you can still see some Hulk in there. And just like the other one, you can remove the tongue if you want. The right arm has 3 options, and I love them all. My least favorite is the closed fist. And then what I thought would be my favorite is the open palm. But my favorite is where it's just tendrils. So some fantastic, really cool display options. I dig it a lot. Everything fit really well, so I appreciate that. The weight isn't too much for what it is. There are a few seam lines, like in the portrait, or back here on the tendrils. Nothing I'm going to lose sleep over. They're not horrible. So I think the design's a 4 out of 5. I would have liked to see a third portrait. I think that would have helped. Also, with such cool arms, it'd be cool if the right arm had a switch out similar to some of those Symbiote stuff. But again, I really appreciate that it's a big piece, but it's not overly big. Let's talk about the paint and sculpt. Now, this to me really screams comic. So it's not like a realistic take on things. And if you're looking at it that way, I think the paint and sculpt is very, very good. However, there's not some micro detail, especially like on the base and a little bit in the Hulk, and especially like some of the color they used. So it's almost like comparing apples to oranges when I talk about that other Venomized Hulk, even though they're the exact same character. But take a look. All right, so let's look at the switch outs first. I'm not going to look at the other arms because they all have kind of the tendril flow going on, but I love this one. I love the huge long nails. I love the size of it. It's pretty massive, as you see right there. Now, the other switch out, the portrait, so I love that they did green on the eyes. That really pops. It still tells you it's Hulk. I think the teeth look nice. I like a Venom with really crooked creature-esque teeth. And then the coloring on here, because, you know, when do Hulk or Venom have time to brush their teeth? A lot of cool deep reds in the middle there. The lighting in this room isn't the best, but you can still get a good idea. That looks great. The inside of the mouth here, I almost call these like tendrils, gum tendrils up here. How they're stretching. Here's the half and half. I think it looks great. Like I said, this part of Hulk, very comic-like I talked about. And again, a really, really nice job on the detail. I like the shading. I like the hair back here. The tongues look great. I'm glad they didn't go with like green or anything like that. It's almost like this other color of saliva that's this dark red, almost like blood. I like the ridges in the tongue. Really quick, the symbiote suit, there's a lot of blue on this. When I was unboxing it, I wasn't digging all the blue, but now that it's together, I like it a lot. Typically, I like to see a little bit of a shade in there for a symbiote, and this is overpowering. It's not so overpowering like some of the other ones I've owned, or I do own, and it just works really well with the statue. And I like how the symbiote is layered everywhere. You have the Venom symbol protruding at the back there. The Hulk skin also looks good. Again, not really a color I would have initially liked. It's very bright green, but I think that makes this stand out, and it's different than my other Hulks, which makes me kind of like it. And it's appearing a lot more green in the camera here. They did a great job with the anatomy, whether it's, you know, talking about the foot here that's half Venom, half Hulk. Huge Hulk foot in the back right here with the classic toenails. But some veins, over-muscularized like Hulk is. I think that's done really well. It's kind of hard to tell because you're going from the symbiote to the Hulk. Skin texture looks good. and a lot of shadowing in between the muscles, which is, you know, pretty typical. The pants look fantastic, fully sculpted, ripped. Not only the sculpt on them, some texturized pattern in that purple color, kind of a lighter purple color as well, to help flow with the rest of the statue. The concrete on the base, like I said, more of a comic vibe for me, especially right here. It doesn't seem there's as much micro detail. A little more over here, and part of it could be just the cracks. You see some like post-tension cable coming out there. The sewer pipe, that copper color with a lot of shadowing. It's more post-tension cable just sticking out of the bottom there. Then the sewer down below, not the best lighting down here, but I like the dirt. It's just a cool, tells a really good story. And here's that paper I was talking about. Symbiotes are taking over, pretty cool. Has a picture of the profile of this guy right here. And then the street post. Again, very much a comic vibe. I like how rusted it is. They didn't spare any details on this. The dents look great. So overall, just a pretty incredible piece. I think they did really nice with the colors and the sculpt. Not necessarily the direction I would have gone, but I'm glad they did because I like it a lot. So paint, you know, I like how vibrant it is. I didn't think at first I'd like this color of green, but I'm really digging it. And the rest of it, like we talked about, pretty fantastic. I think the paint is a solid 4 out of 5. Close to almost a 5 out of 5 for me. And it wasn't what I expected, especially like some of the blue we talked about. Sculpt, you know, it's pretty badass. I'm pretty impressed. I don't think it's as good as the paint, but I'm still going to give it a 4 out of 5, and I think it's more of a lower end 4 out of 5, but I don't like to do in between numbers. Value on this guy is absolutely fantastic. They made 50 of them, and he only retailed for $900. Actually, when I went back and looked, I was like, I don't think that's right. So I could be wrong, but that's what I wrote down. Shipping, if I recall, was about $400 for sea shipping. So you're about $1,300 all in for a giant 1/4 scale piece. That's nowadays kind of the going price for a lot of these. And this is really rare, only 50 of them. Like I said, this character hasn't been done too much, although XM Studios, a license company, recently teased this right here. So I think the value is a 4 out of 5 on this piece. It's incredibly high. If XM Studios wasn't coming out with one, I would actually put this 5 out of 5 on the value. So overall, does this have the X factor? Of course it does. That means this is a very impressive statue. It gets your attention. It's awesome. I'm super stoked to have it in my collection. This will not be a Hulk that I'm selling. Such a cool piece. Would I like the other one? Absolutely. But I know the other one's going for quite a bit more on the aftermarket. It'll be interesting to see if this one does as well. For now, let me know what you guys think of this piece. And based off the picture of the other one and this one, which do you like more? Throw that down in the comments below. And I ask you to comment because we're giving away some statues. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Again, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Stay tuned for that upcoming Hulk video. It's a custom from one of my custom groups, and I've been waiting years and years for that one. So make sure you subscribe to see that, hit that bell notification, check out some of these other videos in the meantime. Take care.